Okay, anyway, Norman Paxman had a question. Walk forward, Holly. No. There we go.
I think this might have already been answered in part previously, you see, but the question I'll ask anyway is, to enable a capital machinery purchase essential for efficient running of a company when cash flow is still critical and profits not high, is there a low-risk funding available, and where could it best be obtained?
HSBC, we think, but...
God, I'm popular tonight. Makes it change.
No banker bashing around here.
No. What's your definition of low risk? Low risk to who? Low risk to yourself or the bank or...
Yeah, not the bank. I don't think he's talking about it.
Okay. So the bank, you're saying the bank takes all the risk or...
Yeah, that's
so,
the idea.
okay. So on capital equipment, I did mention it earlier, so the Regional Growth Fund is if you buy a machine and you're going to return, and it stops you getting rid of people, for one way of putting it, so you retain positions, or you buy a machine and you're going to employ people as part of that. The Regional Growth Fund will give you up to 20% of the value of the machine for your deposit, and we have loads of cases of us using that scheme. In fact, we just had another slug of money down that. So if you want details about that, I can really go into that with you later. If you really want a no-risk scenario, an operating lease, what we call an operating lease, we have a rental agreement. We've done it again where you get a manufacturer or someone like that to give you a future value guarantee. So you rent a machine and you give it back to a manufacturer at the end of the time. Seen quite a few of those. So that would pass the risk away from us as a bank to the manufacturer. It depends how keen the manufacturer is for you to have the machine and how confident they are on you in the first place. But it's really hard to say. It's a partnership, so you can't have a position where there's no risk on the person who wants to borrow the funds for the machinery. If you've got the government giving you a 20% deposit up front, you like to think if you're buying the right type of machinery, the value, it didn't work with properties all the time, did you? But the value will be retained. That actually, once you pay off your debt, you know that actually you got value in the machinery that would cover your debt position. But there are alternatives, because the operating lease is quite interesting because it's off balance sheet as well, isn't it? Yeah. At the moment still. So it's that's quite interesting because that's a really tax efficient way of getting kit on the floor as well.
Okay, anybody else want to lob in anything?
Presumably by low risk, I'd endorse about the operating lease, because if in these times suppliers are more willing to provide assistance to for asset purchase than times past. But presumably by low risk you mean the alternative being the bank requiring a PG?
Yes, I was reflecting back more to the previous conversation about balance sheets. If you've been through a time of austerity, your balance sheet isn't going to look good. Where do you go to get the funding when you can see growth? Why capital purchase and encouraging new business?
Yeah. So it could be that a bank goes in. Sorry.
The person loaning the money wants all sorts of guarantees and God knows what to give you the funding. I can understand that to a degree, but I think if there's somebody out there who doesn't require what banks generally want.
But there are
personal guarantee.
Yeah, there are. I mean, negotiations. If you're right, if the supplier is really keen to sell the machinery, the bank might actually go to the supplier and get some form of guarantee on the funding. We've done that. So you get a tripartite agreement. And actually, you get to a middle ground where everyone is happy, and we have seen that. But we've definitely, I said before, the fact you can get up to, and it's not geographic. So London's not excluded from the Regional Growth Fund. So if you want to look at that, to get your 20% deposit up front, you still got to fund the VAT. But that I would really strongly recommend. I'd love to talk about it in detail afterwards.
Sounds like a very interesting opportunity. So I suspect people will be flooding to you to hear more.